I know this video has taken forever to come up with. It has been a very busy time, even though that is an excuse. I feel like it's a valid excuse, but we're here with the SVDS build you guys have been asking for. This is a hybrid build that I think will do very well close or very well with distance. Either way, your engagements are going to be sick, and I can't wait to show you guys. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to the X-Build Hideout. My name is Ghost. If you guys have never been here before, I'm super excited you guys are here. This is a channel where we talk about a lot of Tarkov content. In fact, it's about 100% Tarkov content now. So definitely, if you guys want to see more Tarkov content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. You can always hit the bell if you want to be notified when videos go live. I also stream on Twitch every single day except for Tuesday. Now tomorrow, which I don't know what day this video is going to drop, but this week I should say, I will be streaming Tuesday because I'm switching it for Monday, but everything you guys need to know will always be in the Discord. All the links you need will be down in the description. So I wanted to say that really quick so we can get right into the video. I just want to say that this build is going to be according to this date. So for all the messages that come afterward, I know that some of my builds change after I make them. It's just part of the different changes that BSG is making. There's nothing I can do about it. But if you guys come into stream, I am definitely ready and willing to answer any of your guys' questions. Like for instance, some of you said, oh, this stock I can't get no more at Skier 2. What would you recommend if I don't have Skier 3 because that's where it's at now? Well, we'll talk about it. We're going to go over, dude, maybe you should run this instead. Budget-wise, you should run this instead. If barters have changed, you should run this instead. All of that stuff. So anyways, I hope to see you guys on stream, and I just wanted to say that. Let's get into the build. So here we are in the build, guys. This is, in my opinion, the best VDS. This is, in my opinion, the best SVDS build for your all-around encounters, right? So obviously, if you're specifically sniping and you want to use something like a Voodoo, it's going to be better. But if you're specifically going like CQC and you're taking the SVDS into factory, which I am actually going to do a separate video on what type of SVDS build you guys should be doing for Punisher, because we actually did Punisher on stream with that concept and idea. So I'm going to do a video because a lot of you are messaging me asking for the clip of the stream or the VOD, like when it happened. So instead, I'm just going to do a video. We're going to talk about Punisher and what you should do. Whole separate video. In this video, there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about the famous Dragunov sniper. If you guys loved it in Call of Duty and you love it now, it's because it's pretty much the same weapon, even though it's not called that. That's essentially what this is. It is the 7.62 by 54 sniper rifle that acts as a wild DMR in this game. So this gun, we're going to go right into. A lot of these parts already come with the original build. Unfortunately, the gun is very expensive right when you buy it. So it's going to be about 80,000 from flea market. Now, I have found it as low as 71. That's the lowest I found it. It was pretty much stripped. So I don't really know what you guys want to do in that regard. If you guys have a better option, let me know down in the comments. But what I've seen to be the best is just to buy it from flea market and go from there. Luckily, you can buy it from flea market at about 80K and you don't have to add too much onto it. In this build, we do add a little bit, but as you'll see in the Punisher build, we don't add too much more to it. So whether you're using that for shooter-borne or using it for something else, there's different reasons why you build this weapon. So we're gonna go over the very first one, and the very first piece is going to be, you guys already know this piece. This is the Zenit RK3 pistol grip. It's used on a lot of AKs as one of the best in-slot items, giving you plus 12 on the ergonomics, which is very nice because in this build, guys, you need all the ergo you can get. As you can see, we're sitting at 21 ergo, and I know that's because we have a suppressor, but I'm going to talk about why we have a suppressor and why we're not going to run it loud. Now, there is reasons, or if you're just one of those people that want to run it loud, you can. It sounds absolutely terrifying. So running it loud can be viable, but I'll show you in the hideout later when we test it why I'm not running it loud. So we have the Zenit RK3. That is going to be 9,338 rubles from Skier 3, and it's going to give you that plus 12 ergo. The next thing we are going to look at is the magazines. I recommend running the 20s. I don't really see why you shouldn't run 20s. 10s work if you're only sniping and maybe you have a secondary gun like a pistol, or your aim is just godly. But you don't have like that much of an ergo nerf to not run 20s, in my opinion. So I'm running 20s. I always run 20s, and that's going to give us -2 on the ergonomics. You're going to be able to get it for 10,770 rubles from proper 4. If you're trying to save money, sure, run the 10s. But like I said, this gun is something that you want to use often before you're very comfortable or have a secondary weapon present. The next thing we're going to be using is the CAA DRG mount. This is only going to take away -1 ergo, and the reason why we're going to use this is because we need something to start adding muzzle brake, suppressor, all of that jazz on the front of the gun. So it's necessary. You're going to get it for 2,912 rubles from Mechanic 2. Then on top of that, we're going to be putting the Rotor 43 thread adapter, and this is just for the suppressor. That's going to give us a -1 ergonomics. You're going to be able to get that for 2,016 rubles from Mechanic 3. And then we're going to be running the Rotor 43 7.62 by 54 muzzle brake. Now it says muzzle brake, but you read on the bottom, even though it's positioned as a muzzle brake, it actually works as a sound suppressor. Now, it doesn't take away too much of the loudness, but that's mainly because this gun is just really loud in general. It's kind of like the SV98. When you run a suppressor on it, you're like, is it suppressed? Like in comparison to like the DVL, which is like, pew, pew. And these guns are like, boom. And then when you put a suppressor, they're like, boom. You know, it's like, it's still loud, but it does help. So this is going to give us a -10% on the vertical recoil and -18 on the ergonomics. So it is a major hit to the ergonomics, which is why our ergo is very, very low. Even though there isn't a ton of difference, I know 18 sounds like it's a lot different, but I promise you, if you use it loud and you use it suppressed, you're going to notice what I'm talking about. When you pick it up, it's still going to sway when you pick it up because it's already low. So anyways, that's going to be 38,000 rubles from Flea Market. That's the cheapest that I found it at the time, and that's giving us the -10 and -18. After that, we are going to be running the Izhmash handguard, and this is going to give us a -4% recoil, and it's going to give us the +7 ergo. So we're definitely going to need that for the ergo. That's from Proper 3, and that's 15,587 rubles. After that, we're going to be putting on the 4.1-inch guide, and that is so that we can run, obviously, a foregrip. It's the Magpul M-Lock. It's the one we've been using. That's 1,762 rubles from Mechanic 2. And then on top of that, we are going to be running the pretty much meta in-slot foregrip, which is the Fortis shift, and that's going to give us a -2% in vertical recoil and the +9 in the ergonomics. There is things that are cheaper that you can run, but this gun isn't a budget build. This gun isn't like, I'm not trying to get min-max on all of the parts. I'm just trying to build an effective SVDS for you guys who want an SVDS build. So this is going to be 157 USD from Peacekeeper 4. And then after that, we are actually going to switch it up. So I see most of the builds that people make, they are making them with the SVD low. Now I get it. You've taken a while to earn the SVD low. The SVD low looks really nice. It feels really nice. But the difference is the Izhmash Modern Rail comes up from the front and sits on top. The beautiful thing, though, is you get a -2% vertical recoil, which you do not get on the SVD low. So the SVD low takes away the -1 on the ergo, so those are the same, but to have that -2% recoil is actually a very nice bonus. So we're going to run the Izhmash Modern Rail, and you're going to be able to find that for 9,999 rubles. I should have just put 10,000, but that's what I got it for, so I put that from the flea market. So sometimes, obviously, you guys know how the market works. You can find it cheaper. You're going to find it more expensive. That's just how it goes. Now, in my opinion, for those of you who don't watch my other gun builds, sights and lights are completely subjective in my opinion. If you want to run the NC Star blue laser, or if you want to run the D-ball and have an option for everything, whether you're running IR laser, which is what I run, regular laser, you know, whatever, flashlight, it's completely up to you guys. You guys be the ones who choose that. I'm not choosing it. In some of my early gun builds, I used to say, like, I think you should run this, I think you should run that. But it ended up just being like people fussing about it because they're like, how can you say that's the best when the red laser is the best? And people are like, no, blue laser is the best. And some people are like, IR laser for life. And it just became a mess. And it's not important because that build has to do with what makes you comfortable using it. So when it comes to sights and lights, they're subjective. What I like on this build is the Bravo PKO6 combo. One, because the PKO6 is just an amazing reflex sight, probably one of the best in the game, arguably. Now, they are expensive, so obviously switch it up. If you don't want to run this, run an RMR, run a fast fire, run whatever you like, right? But the reason why I like this combo is because the Bravo is so perfect in my opinion. Like, I love the Bravo. It has a huge FOV. It just looks very, very crisp. And it's just a great combo. Like, having that 4 times to just get a little bit further, but not too far, so you can't get close engagements as well with, it just feels very nice. So we are running the Bravo PKO6. Another combo that I really like lately has been the Bravo RMR. If I'm sniping a little bit further, I have been running the Voodoo RMR. So those are the combos I like. If you guys want to run this, you guys can run it, and you can find the Bravo for about 35,000 rubles on the flea market, and it gives you that -2 ergo. So it does give you a tiny bit take off the ergo, but it's up to you guys what you want to run at the end of the day. That is going to wrap it up for this build. That's going to complete the build. And now what we're going to do is we are going to talk a little bit about the ammo, and then we're going to go into the hideout and test it out. Okay, so let's talk about what ammo you should be using. We're going to be talking about only a few of them. We're going to talk about SNB, 7N37, 7N1. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to bring up 7N37. If you guys want to use that and you guys are super bougie, you guys can. Penning 7 with 72, yeah, you don't even need to use that. 7N1 and 7BT1. So the first one I want to talk about is LPS, because this is the first one you guys are essentially going to have access to, and a lot of it you're going to find in Raid, and it's just common, it's cheap. It's still a good round. I know people are like, oh my gosh, LPS, you know, it's budget, it's not going to do anything. Come on. We've seen some of your guys' guns, and they have less than 81 flesh and less than 42 pen, and you're still saying that those rounds are good. So for an everyday round, I think LPS is fine, but let's talk about why you wouldn't use LPS over some of the other rounds. In my opinion, I think that everyone is probably going to be running SNB or 7N1, and that is based on what you're using it for. So when you are just trying to kill people and you're going for that just power, I would recommend 7N1. And the reason why is because 7N1 right here has 86 flesh and 45 pen, which means you're halfway through penning 4. You're going to do crazy damage to level 5 armor, which a lot of people are running right now. But the 86 flesh gives you the opportunity to have a one-shot potential on people's thorax, which the LPS does not at 81 flesh. So that's what separates them. Also, go ahead and look at the armor damage. We're looking at 84% armor damage. So 7N1 is just a very, very nasty round. Also, you have to look at the bullet velocity when you are talking about sniping. It has a very good bullet velocity, being that it's, I think, the best. Okay, it's tied with SNB. Basically, the best bullet velocity in this round caliber that is in the game. So you have 875 for the bullet velocity, you have 1 tap potential, and you have 84% armor damage that it's doing when you're using this round. So for those close encounters, it's going to wreck people. For those far encounters, it's still going to wreck people. Where I would switch to SNB is because you are going to lose some of flesh, right? You're going to be at 75 now, so it's on the lower end of this of these rounds. But look at, you get 62 for the pen, which is good for Shooter Born in Heaven. So when you're doing Shooter Born quests and you're using this caliber, I would recommend SNB for a couple reasons. One, because you are going to be able to pen any helmet, which means if you go for that headshot, you don't have to shoot someone in the head 2 times. Obviously, there's ricochet chance, but we're not talking about that. You have the highest velocity in this round, and you don't have 1 tap potential, which is what you want when you're doing shooter, because you don't want to accidentally from 200 meters away shoot someone in the thorax and kill them. If you hit them in the thorax, you want another opportunity to get the headshot. So Shooter Born in Heaven, SNB. Everyday round, 7N1, or you can get away with LPS as well for just like hip firing the crap out of someone at a close distance and just wrecking them. Now 7BT1 has 78 damage, so it's all right. It has very, very nice pen. It's way more expensive. It does have lower bullet velocity, but this is nice if you want to tracer round. So if you're using the SVDS and you don't use it often and you want to know where your bullets are going when you are sniping, you can use the 7BT1 and you can kind of determine if you need to lift your gun, lower your gun, if you need to zero at a different distance. All these factors come into play when you shoot your first couple shots with a tracer round. So if you're not comfortable definitely go with the 7BT1, and it's still a really good round. The only problem with sniping and having a tracer round is obviously one of the biggest cons of sniping is when you are sniping, you don't want people to know where you are shooting them from. You are prone somewhere, you're quiet somewhere, and you're trying to get these shots without them like, oh my gosh, where the heck am I getting shot from? 7BT1 will take away that surprise, especially if there is more than one person in the group that you're shooting at, because if you're shooting at a guy and somebody else in that squad sees those tracers, they're gonna just look wherever those tracers are coming from and be like, oh, he's on Sniper Rock. Oh, he's behind the train. Oh, he's, you know what I mean? So keep that in mind when you're using 7BT1. You will definitely not be hidden anymore, but it's still a good round. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to use what you want, when you want, but I thought I would give a little gist of each of the rounds. All right, let's see what this gun's made out of. So as you can see, this is the ergo. It's not really like the other videos. It's not too snappy, especially when you're in the Bravo, but it's good enough, especially if you have a little bit of distance. Does take a second though. You can even feel it when you're trying to do it really quick. You can even feel the sway. The other thing is this has amazing hip fire, but one of the main things that I wanted to show you guys is what I should actually do is take off the suppressor after this. No, let's do the suppressor first, actually. I'm sorry. Let's do this real quick. I want you guys to see the difference because some of you are going to say, well, I can't afford the suppressor and I'm going to run it loud. Let's just do that real quick so that you can see the reset. Vertical recoil is going to affect the reset of your weapon when you are fast firing a weapon of this sort, DMR in general. So, well, it affects every weapon, but DMR is going to affect differently than something that's automatic, where the rounds are just keep flowing versus when the rounds have a second in between and they're dot, dot, dot versus brrr, it's going to affect it differently. So, you guys like the sound effects. This is going to be just firing over and over and over, and then I'm going to put the suppressor on and show you that. So, I don't know if you guys can notice, but every single time I shoot, that bounce that's going like this over and over, it's way bigger than it's going to be when we have the suppressor. So you have to wait for the... Probably couldn't hear my voice. You're going to want the reset to happen sooner so that if you're in a panic and you're shooting over and over and over, you don't want a bigger gap because you're most likely, especially if you're shooting the head, you're going to miss the head on the other shots, or you're going to miss and hit arm or even hit over the shoulder. So that's with that. Let's slap this on real quick and go back in. Probably a faster way you could do that, but that's how we're doing it. So do you guys see the difference? How small that gap was? It was literally like, I would say a third of the size of the gap for non-suppressed. And it's really not that much quieter, as you guys can see. The other thing is I want to show you guys how good the hip fire is. For this type of weapon, if you're in dorms, you're gonna mow somebody down in the hallway. That is the best SVDS. That is going to be the complete build for the SVDS. We're looking at 21 ergo and 126 vertical recoil at 225,000. It's very expensive. 166 rubles. That is including the USD. I put it into one price bracket so you guys don't have to convert anything. That's what it would be at total. It feels really good. It's something that is fun to run, but like I said, this is not for the budget builder. This is not so you guys could save money, but I do hope that you guys find some fun with it. Thank you guys for watching another build. If you guys do have a good time running this gun, let me know down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this build, make sure you guys like the video. It goes a long way for the channel. And thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been showing me so far. We are literally climbing to 5,000 subs, and it's been absolutely insane. The streams have been popping. So if you do like the video and you want to see more Tarkov content, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel, and you can always hit the bell if you want to be notified when videos go live. I would love to see you guys by the Twitch stream. We're live every single morning at 6 a.m. PST. Grab some coffee, except for Tuesday, and we'll have fun hanging out, whether you are just getting off of work, whether it's before work, or you just want to hang out. Either way, we're going to have a good time. Lastly, before we go, I just want to talk about the Discord real quick, because the Discord is growing like crazy as well. It is full of Tarkov players, all the way from people who just started to people who have been playing for a few wipes. So they're very knowledgeable. If you guys don't want to raid alone, get into the Discord. I have raid chat set up for you. I have a ton of resources. We have ammo charts, maps. We have a bot that answers your question. Anything that BSG says is in the Discord. One-stop shop for all of your Tarkov content. I hope you guys are very blessed. I hope you have an amazing day or night, depending on where you're at in the world. I am looking forward to the next video, and I'm really excited to hear about what you guys think about this build. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Whoa! And watch me whip, and watch me nay nay, hey, watch me whip, watch me nay nay, hey, watch me whip, and watch me nay nay, hey, watch me whip, watch me.